So I'm just sorting the final details out and then I will be with you. And I'm going to have some music just going in the background, which you may or may not be able to hear. Right, exciting! This is one of our tunes, our Stamping Up tunes. So let's see if I can see you. Or indeed see me. My phone seems to have decided to not work. Oh no, there we go. Videos. Yes! And there's 4 people here. Just setting up my phone so that I can see, hopefully. Oh, I need to turn the volume off on my phone. Right. My phone's thinking about it. High-tech stuff. Right, I'm going to turn the music off because I'm finding it irritating. Right, can I see? Swipe to reveal comments. Hi Jackie, hi Renee. We are on webcam today. I'm not going through the joys of Wi-Fi falling over this week. Not happening. That said, we have been having power outages for the last week, so who knows what's going to happen. Anyway, I managed to work out that if I stand to the side, you don't get the knob of my webcam in the way. So that's all good. So I hope everyone is keeping well. So we've got Sue, we've got Mary, we've got Renee. Hi Sue from Tasmania. I'm guessing it's a little, it's going to be late there and probably a little chilly. Hi Nora. Having said probably a little chilly, I think today we have got a high temperature of, I think it may get as high as, yes Jackie, absolutely, it may get as high as 18 degrees Celsius, which is not that hot. Put it like this, it's not even 70 degrees. Any of you from Australia and specifically Melbourne, sorry to hear that you are back into lockdown. So 8-ish with both Jackie and Renee, I'm guessing you're on the same line-ish. So you're towards the east of Australia, and obviously Tasmania is southeast of Australia. I didn't get to go to Tasmania. I didn't actually get to go to the east of Tasmania either. Queensland, okay. So yes, I went to Australia, wow, how many years ago? 35? And hello from Victoria in Australia again. Yes, I went to Perth. My brother was out there sailing and he was kind of travelling the world, and he was doing some sailing in Perth in February and asked if I would like to go out and join him for a couple of weeks, which I did, and it was lovely because when I left the UK there was snow on the ground, and obviously in Western Australia in February it's quite warm. And yes, I got sunburnt, even with factor 50 sun cream on under a tree. But then it was the middle of winter, so I had no suntan at all. I don't tan that readily anyway, but yes. Oh, and next week, it's going to be gone. Having my hair cut tomorrow, all things being equal, I can actually just about get it into a little ponytail. But yes, looking forward to that going, and definitely looking forward to this going. I keep having to push it back. So it's been a really exciting week already. Well, I say week, start to July because we've got bonus days. We all like bonus days. So remember, and obviously different countries have different values, but in the UK, for every £45 you spend before postage and packing, you earn a voucher code that you can use in August, which means you can use it on the new, where is it? Got my copy. I've got my copy and I bound it. I'm allowed to show you this. That's all I can show you. But I've got it. So yes, I'm hoping my pre-order is going to, Morning Bee, I'm hoping my pre-order is going to arrive today. It is due to arrive today, as are catalogues. For those of you who already shop with me, if you've placed an order, probably certainly in the last year, but possibly in the last 18 months, you will get a catalogue automatically. And I'll also catch up on some of the people who I haven't sent annual catalogues to yet, and make sure that you get an annual catalogue if I haven't already sent you one. I might as well send them out at the same time, because while I'm paying postage, I could just pay a little bit more to send you both. And the beginner's brochure, of course. But there are some amazing things in the new August-December catalogue. Trying not to call it the autumn-winter. It will always be the autumn-winter, although obviously in Australia it's the spring-summer. But yes, so that is hopefully happening today. I've already had people ask me, I can't believe this. So I sent out my last product shares. So I did 2 rounds of product shares and the second lot went out last week. And I've already had a question. Am I going to do product shares for the new Mini? Yes, but not yet. I haven't even seen the stuff yet. So I need to work out whether I'm going to use, morning Jeanette, whether I'm going to include returning favourite papers, because we've got 3 papers returning, which are the 6x6 frosted, the blue frosted papers, was it Brightly Gleaming, which was the copper and Pretty Peacock. It was gorgeous and it was out of stock that quickly. And Twirl Tidings is also coming back. So I may do options for including those and not including those. There's also quite a lot of new specialty papers. So we've got new glimmer paper. We've got some more foil-ish, but it's brushed foil. We've got velvet paper, all sorts. So I just need to get my head around it and see how that goes. But yes, most of the fun we've had this last week has been power outages, and most of them were little blips. So it's what they call, I now know so much about power outages, it's what they call auto reclosures. And they think, but they don't actually know, interestingly, they think that was caused by I'll come back to that, B. They think it was caused by tree branches hitting the power cables. We've had very high winds. They've been up to 60 miles an hour, which in July is unbelievable. Morning, Margaret. So, yeah, they rerouted us. We had quite a major outage on Friday, and they rerouted us down a different power line, and then we had another major outage on Saturday. Joy. Fingers crossed. Yes, B, you can. So, Belinda has asked whether you can use bonus day vouchers on the new die cutting machine. If you are a demonstrator, and remember that demonstrators can earn bonus day vouchers as well, demonstrators will be able to order the new large die cutting machine. Let me get my annual catalogue and pull that up. It's going to probably be somewhere there-ish. I still haven't finished sorting out my catalogue so that I've got all the labels in. It's going to be the large die cutting machine is going to be available for demonstrators to order. There we go. In August. So let me. So this is going to be available to order if you're a demonstrator in August and if you're a customer in September. and then they hope that this one, the mini, will be available before the end of the year. They wanted to put them in the annual catalogue just in case, because they kind of knew they were going to be with us for most of the year, and it was better that they were in. Just so you know, so the stamping, cut and emboss machine in the UK will be £112. The mini will be £56. You cannot put the mini on as a half price item. You can put the standard one on as a half price item. But a bit like the sweet bundles, you can't have as a half price. It's the same idea with the larger die cutting machine. You can't, sorry, the smaller die cutting machine, you can't have that as a half price item. It's a really nicely priced item anyway, so I can understand why they've said that. I'm going to ignore that phone, I hope. Let me just put my head... Oh, no, someone's picked it up. That's good. I have told my husband that I am filming, so fingers crossed he will remember. So, yes, that's probably the electricity company giving me an update on where things are. I'm on the local parish council, so I'm trying to find out for the rest of the villagers what is going on and what they're going to do to make sure it doesn't happen again, because it's ridiculous. So, yes, that was the long answer to your question, B. Yes, you can. So, really good time to join, and I'm not going to make this a recruiting video, but it is a really good time to join because August is the beginning of a quarter. I'm just keeping half an eye to see if my husband's coming across with the phone. He's not. Because August is the beginning of a quarter, if you join in August, A, you can put items from the new mini catalogue in your starter kit, and B, in August you can get the die cutting machine at a discount, because obviously we get them at a discount. Last month I got about 30% discount, so just you know, dropping that in the ocean there. I have been doing this for a while, and last month was my best month ever, so thank you very much for that. So yes, it's a really great time to join. It's the beginning of a quarter, which means that you would get a discount until the very, very earliest that you would stop getting a discount is the end of January, because you don't count the first quarter towards your quarterly minimums. So you'd get the whole of this year, plus January would then be a pending month. And of course January is when Celebration goes live. So as I say, the very shortest time that you would be a demonstrator and get that discount is until the end of January, unless you decided that you wanted to drop earlier, in which case you can resign. You just send an email through to Stamping Up and say, don't want to do this anymore. Thank you very much. Don't want the discount. Don't want all the camaraderie. I'm going to go back to being a customer. That's fine. No problem at all. But it is a really good time to join. So what else do I need to tell you? I've recorded the winner for the fortnight ago's prize. That will go live at 12, but I will tell you, don't worry, you don't have to run away and find it. What else can I tell you? Oh, the World of Good. Yes, World of Good paper, I think, is back in stock. I had a quick look at the inventory report just before we started. The in colour ribbon, which has been out of stock, should be back in at some point next week. The only one that's currently in stock is Magenta Madness. The others are orderable, but they're on back order, but they will be back in stock in the next week. I haven't got a date yet for the Forever Greenery ribbons. Hopefully they will be in stock again very soon. There are a lot of people who are after those, including me. So if you ordered a product share, I should be getting the paper, the outstanding paper, which we just talked about, and the outstanding ribbon for the second round of product shares, hopefully next week or the beginning of the week after, depending on whether by then we've got a date for the Forever Greenery ribbon. I may hang on to that and post everything out together, or I may get it out just so you've got it. I think that's everything that is customary. Okay, so I'm going to move my camera, my phone, which is there, it's on a high-tech box. So I'm going to move that out of the way and move my high-tech box out of the way and flip you round. I have tried to focus the camera before this, so fingers crossed. Let me cover up the lens so you don't get too dizzy. And okay, so don't like things that aren't straight. That's better. The problem with this camera, I love this camera when it works properly. The problem, however, is that it's wider than my normal camera lens, so it means that you can see the toot that is around my grid paper. I will try to keep an eye on the comments, but my phone signal, if I put it there, is not great. I will put it there. Oh, the only other piece of thing I need to mention is, while I remember, is we've got a problem with one of our bits of plumbing, which will probably mean, so I'm going to just hide my wire a bit better, will probably mean that the plumber is going to have to come in and disturb us part way through. I will try to keep as quiet as possible through that, but there is a possibility, only because the stopcock for the water is in my studio. So, or certainly for the bit of the water system that we have a problem with. Okay, so I have got a couple of things planned for today, using the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set and dies. Oh, one last thing while I remember, and I'm going to try and keep my hands reasonably still, because I gather that if I move them around too much, it can be fuzzy. So I will try not to be too busy. Yes, so if you are joining the virtual launch party, which is this coming Saturday, I sent out all the packs last week, so you should be getting them. I know Nora's had hers already, but if you haven't got it already, you should have it very soon. If you want to keep the keep everything, you know, secret, as in not spoil the surprise, don't open the packs, would be my suggestion. I'm wondering if I'm going to get a better signal with my phone if I move it up onto my ribbon shelf. Let's have a look. Oh yes, that's a slightly better signal. I'm just trying to get the comments so that I can definitely see them, because I think it's quite nice to. I won't necessarily keep up to speed with all of them, but we'll see. Okay, so I have got a camera over there where I can see them a bit as well. So Blossoms in Bloom is what we're going to be using, both the dies and the stamps. And I'm going to start, I think, with this one. So this is an idea that I can't remember, I think it may be in the catalogue. Can't remember. Anywho, this is going to be one for stamping rather than die cutting. So I'll get my stamps out, and I'm actually going to not... Oh, will I use the big one? No, I think I might. No, I'm not going to tempt Providence, because that means big block or Stamparatus. And my Stamparatus is all set up for my... Ooh, that's a worry. One of my stamps is missing. No, it's not. It's on the other sheet. My Stamparatus is set up ready for my thank you cards, which should be going out later this week, because the gifts have arrived. So yes, fingers crossed I will get my thank you gifts for June shoppers out this week. Okay, so I have got, basically these are 1-inch strips. They're actually 1 1/16 of an inch strips, just because that's how the maths worked. So we've got Bumblebee, Magenta Madness, Just Jade, Misty Moonlight and Cinnamon Cider. This is actually the order in which they appear on the new in colour grid paper, which I will not be getting. It's lovely. If I was doing in-person stuff, I would buy it, but for videos, it's not good. Anyway, so I've stuck these to the back of an order form. Well, an order receipt, actually. I've stuck them not very well, apparently. Let me get that down again. I've used just a tiny weeny bit of seal, and I'm going to be doing a bit of a seal 101 as part of this, because I have seen that quite a lot of people have been struggling with seal. So we're going to get past that. So all I'm going to do is, let's just get a few blocks out. I discovered when I was doing the test for today's video, making sure things were in focus, that one of our dear cats, who did wake me up in the wee small hours of the morning, can I get you to see that? No, not really. On the bit of my elbow you can't see, he's gouged me. There we are. Look. That is gouged. I love him to bits, but really, there are limits. So, I am going to just mount up some of these on blocks, and we'll have that as well, and we might have that as well. And we'll see, we may add some more as well. So I'm using Versamark, and we will be doing some heat embossing. The reason I have stuck these together is because I want them to run over, I want the stamping to run over the pieces of card. So you do have to be reasonably quick with this, but not silly quick. You just don't want the ink to get too soaked in, and what I'm going to be doing is coming in from the side as well. Now I've got the spot project, that's the word I'm looking for, going live at 12, and we're doing create your own designer series paper. Probably shouldn't have told you that yet, but I have. So there we go. And one of the biggest, most common mistakes that people make when they're stamping a background is that they don't go off the edge. Please, please, please go off the edge. It makes it look so much more mint. Okay, I'm going to come in with some little bits just to fill in some of the space. You won't necessarily be able to see what I'm doing any more than I can, actually. It is quite difficult to see. I'm going to pop that back and remember I need to clean it. And just, I've got the little dotty dots now. But this is quite a nice way of getting some tone on tone. I'm just trying to see if I've got any obvious spaces left, probably just down there. Okay, so let's tuck those away, put the lid on my Versamark, put that back where it came from, bring in clear embossing powder, and at this point I'm going to very gently peel them up and dabble them into my clear embossing powder. Might do the end one next. I think getting them off at the end is probably easier than trying to get the ones out of the middle. This is where one will find out whether I've got Versamark everywhere where I need it. This is also quite a good way of, if you want to get tone on tone and you haven't got the ink pad for the card that you want to use, this is quite a good way of doing that. You're all being very quiet this morning, or this evening, or whichever it is. Hope you're all right. Can you all hear me? It'd be nice to know that you can hear and see me. Also be quite useful to know whether the picture is reasonable or not. So if you could let me know, that would be super. In the comments, ideally, because I don't get to see emojis on the... I get to see emojis one way. Oh, I've got emoji there. I've got a heart from someone, but a comment would be particularly wonderful as well. Right, okay, so all okay today so far. I like the so far bee. Right, we know what's coming next, don't we? It's Trusty Cheese Board. Okay. Ooh, I think I might need a little bit more just there. I've got a bald patch. I don't want a bald patch. That's better. Right, I'm going to apologise for the noise. I can't do much about that yet. Good picture. Okay, busy watching you. Thanks, Jackie. I know what you mean. I'm not going to use my clip, obviously, because I might upset the embossing powder. I just want to get my tweezers. Okay, sorry, here we go. Ooh, that one I need to flick some embossing powder off. Let me find a finger will do. That's it. I still think this is magic. That one, which is now stuck to my... I forgot I've got embossing powder on my tweezers, so I've now got a smut on that piece of card, but that's all right. I won't continue to use that. Let's use my old piercing tool. Not always really easy to see whether you've melted the powder properly on clear when you're just doing tone on tone. And one more piece. And peace. Right, okay. So it's still a little wet. Right, so what went wrong with the Magenta Madness is my tweezers, which are geeky beyond belief, have got embossing powder on, so holding that down, the embossing powder melted. It's fine because I need to put a sentiment on anyway, so it's really not a problem. Okay, so let's get all these pieces out of the way, get rid of my bit of paper, and I have got, ooh, now where is, I was going to sure I was going to. Yes, I was. Let's just make sure I've got the right pieces of card out, which I have. Okay, so these, got a bit of smit there as well. Right, I'm just going to do a little bit of surgery and get the little bit of smit that's there off, or at least not so bad. Right, so now all I've got to do is remember the order. Fortunately, I can, this is, oh no, that's not where that went that way. This is the smit that I'm going to leave and cover up. So we now need a leaf and a flower and a flower. Okay, so we've got, this is cut so that it's just smaller than my normal smaller size mat. So all I'm going to do, and this is where we're going to have a bit of a 101 on seal. I have seen people struggling with seal, and it really isn't that difficult. You want to keep it, you want to use a, you have to make sure you've got it started, but you want to use a reasonably gentle, you want to make sure you've really got it started with a reasonably gentle pressure. I'm coming to the end of this roll is part of the problem. In fact, I think I might even be at the end of this roll. And then when you get to the end, just come up. Yeah, I'm right at the end of this reel, and it's not playing totally well. It's a bit like, do you remember when you changed your snail, if you bothered with snail? It would be different. It would be light when you first started using it, so really easy to roll, and you didn't notice that it was getting less easy to roll until partway through, well, until you got the new rollout. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate on two things at once. It's never a good idea for me. Right, so let's see if it'll play properly again this time. So there, and then just flick out. There, and flick out. So rather than with fuse, where we went to the side, this you're giving it a flick backwards. So and this is this one next. No, not that one next. That one next. That one. It is that one next. It's just because I stamped this, the way I stamped it, it kind of went off the edge. I'm sure that's right. Yes, that's right. I was doubting myself there for a moment. So are any of you taking part in the spot? I know Margaret McFadden does occasionally. It's a really nice little challenge group with a different theme each week. So do go and have a look at that. And also, I need to ask for your help. So I posted at 10 o'clock in the UK last night a post for Kylie Bertucci's international blog highlights, and depending on how many votes one gets, depends on whether later in the month you get to do a blog hop with Kylie, which is obviously something that money cannot buy. I will be tidying the edges up, don't worry, because I know they're not even. Not these edges, this edge. So if you haven't already voted, if you would care to do so, you will be finding my the vote button on my blog post for today and for the spot. Right, so it would be lovely if you could vote for me. You get to have, thank you Jackie, you get to have 5 votes, so you don't have to just vote for me, but it would be lovely if you could vote for me. So this I need to trim down because it's a bit off to one side. So I'm going to bring in my mini trimmer, which is another very good reason to be a demonstrator at the moment, because as a demonstrator you can, for a limited period, buy a mini trimmer. It's a while stocks last, but you could add it to your starter kit. Thank you, Nora. You're lovely people. So can you ignore the smit? We are going to cover that up. Can you see? It's all beautiful and shiny. So I've been saying we're going to cover up the smit, and we are. So there are lots of lovely sentiments in the stamp set, and I thought we would do, let's see, I want something reasonably long because I need it to come that way. Happy birthday would work, wouldn't it? Oh, actually, I was going to do it that way, wasn't I? So I could have it coming that way, but it still would work. Happy birthday, or actually thank you would work as well. I like doing thank yous at the moment because I think we've got lots of people to thank, apart from anything else. Let me pop some of my, I'm going to have to remember that the flowers from this stamp set are all going to be covered in Versamark ink, so I need to clean them. But that's fine. I can do that later, but I need my blocks. So I've got a piece of basic black. This is going to make sense in a moment, but I've got a piece of basic black, and I know we don't have embossing buddy, but I don't care. I'm going to use it. We are trying to get it to come back. So if there are any demonstrators watching, if you could sandbox that we want an anti-static powder, embossing buddy or whatever, please. Then we might get it back. Right, I'm on my tiptoes here because I want this straight. Not sure that's straight, but oh, it is more or less. Right, I'm going to use white embossing powder this time. Yeah, that's pretty straight. Pretty damn straight. Have we got any Americans on today? Because if we have, I should be saying I hope you had a wonderful Independence Day. Or probably what we ought to be calling in, and I think technically this would be England, what we should be calling We Lost You Day. Because obviously it's the independence from being part of the British Empire, or colonies. That's what I was looking for. Right. Trusty cheese board again. And this time I am going to use the clip. Hopefully my heat tool will be reasonably warm still. Yay! Not the best bit of stamping I've ever done, but I'm sure you'll forgive me. Okay, so I'm going to trim that down. I need to make sure that I want that covered up. Probably want it there, don't I? So we'll have it kind of there. Okay, I know where I'm coming from now. So what I'm going to do is trim there. I might actually trim it down a wee... Just think it's a bit fat. I don't want to trim it down too much because I want it to go over the line rather than being on a join. Take it down a wee bit more. Come on, you can do it. Okay, we will call that done. Perfect. Right, and I have a mat. Now all the measurements will be on the post that I will put together for my Facebook Live, and it will go live later this week. Not, it won't go live. It will post on YouTube later this week. Oh, I forgot to do my housekeeping. So, this is a Facebook Live on Tuesday the 7th of July. If you are watching live, you will find that there is a red button in the top left-hand corner. If there is no button in the top left-hand corner, you're watching a replay. And if you are on YouTube, you're watching a replay. I'm still getting one or two people who think they're watching me live on YouTube. I am actually thinking of going live on YouTube soon and starting that, but at the moment my only live is on Facebook. Right, that should be reasonably straight, yes. And I've got a Whisper White card, half a sheet of paper, and a bone folder. So I'm going to pop that on there. I was wondering whether I was going to use dimensionals or just on that. Actually, I might use just dimensionals on this and then have that stuck straight down. So now I watched Bruno Bertucci doing a video for a sort of scrappy strip starburst card. Beautiful, dare I say. I should have bought shares in dimensionals. Everywhere. I mean, he had them everywhere. I did leave a comment along the lines of how many packs of dimensionals do you get through in a day? Talk about lots. You don't need that many. I mean, if you're sending it halfway around the world through lots of people's postal systems, yeah, probably want to use a few more. But if you are not, then you don't. And then I'll trim, I should probably trim that before I, just going to make a little mark for myself, because I should have trimmed that before I popped the dimensionals on, because I only want that coming to the edge of my black. Okay. And I am going to use a liquid adhesive for this because I've got it out, but I could have used seal. But what's quite nice with liquid adhesive is you can slide it into place. Hold it down. And I'm going to use some of the Elegant Faceted Gems, my favourite new embellishment so far. It will change, but at the moment this is my favourite new embellishment. These I think are wonderful because they're clear, so if I pop them on here, they take the colour of whatever they're on. These are Petal Pink and these are kind of white-ish, and I'm going to use the white-ish ones. Just, you know, randomly. Well, not randomly, but relatively randomly. So I'm going to have little clusters. And you know I like my odd numbers, but I also like spreading things out. Now we've got this smit here, so I can pop that there. And so this is all about having a visual triangle. So you want 1, 2, so I'll be coming up here and there's a smit there. So this is where embellishments are wonderful things. I mean, they're wonderful things anyway, but this is lots of dimensionals. Yes, Bruno does use lots and lots of dimensionals. Claire's here. Many happy returns for your husband's birthday, Claire. Hello, hello. Because it's Claire's husband's birthday today. So there we are. That is our first card, and it's. Hope you like it. If you do, some little love hearts would be nice. It's a relatively straightforward card to do. As I say, the key is to have the strips all the same size, stick them down with something that you can kind of get up, and then just go for it. And I literally used the smallest little bit of seal. So, yes. So that's that one. Now the second card that I've got planned is using the same bundle, but where's the stamp there? It's the same bundle, but using dies more so. I'm going to do a quick bit of cleaning while I kind of get my head into the new project, so I can remember which things I have got to clean. So if I pick up with a B block, everything. This is clean, by the way. I have cleaned it. How are you, Claire? Are you well? I'm glad it's given you some ideas, B. That is the general idea. Nearly done. Just if I do it now, then I will know. Lovely. It would, Nora. Absolutely. But it's also quite nice to see that you can use. That is the right way around. You can use clear embossing and get that deeper tone, which I think is quite nice to see occasionally. So that's, as I say, is that one. Pop those away, well, not away, but to one side. So let me grab something from one of my drawers, because I just want to do a reminder. Do you remember this lovely paper? So this is the rainbow glimmer paper that is in the the annual catalogue, that I know a lot of people are having problems with because it's multicoloured. You can obviously use just bits of it, and we have in past videos used just bits of it. And today we're using that bit of it. So I've got lots of lovely bright but faded, as in, you know, ombre effect faded colour. So just pop that away. Actually, I might keep it out. I've just had a thought. So this is going to be a two-for 1 card. Oh, I've still got a. That's better. And I'm doing it with this one on its own. There is a die that you can, that goes over the top, that is that way up. That does just a fine outline, but I'm going bold today. So, as I say, this is going to be a two-for, and what I need is 2 smaller Whisper White, which is those 2. And again, I'm going to be popping things together. And I might bring out my piece of scrap paper again, because what I want is... So this is kind of the amount of seal that I used to stick everything else down. So tiny weeny little amount, just about pick it up in the light. So teeny weeny amount. I'm just lining it up on some words. And again, Oh, I must stop doing the fuse flick. Okay, so that is now one piece. Now you could theoretically do this before you cut your pieces up, but the thing to bear in mind with this is that you want a solid bit, reasonably solid bit, at the join point, because you're going to cut it in half. So, and one of the reasons I chose this rather than the other die cut is because it's so much easier to work with. So you want reasonable splodges of adhesive. That's a bit that needs to come out. You don't need it all over, but reasonable. I keep finding little bits that I haven't got rid of. You want a reasonable amount, because this is going to take a wee bit of time. And you want to make sure that it's all still wet when you come to put it all down. Now this is one of the ones that's going in the middle. So anywhere on the middle line, which is going to be here, you want to make sure you've got sensible quantities of adhesive, because that is where the danger points are when you cut it in half. So this is not the most exciting television to watch, but I don't like doing and here's one I've prepared earlier, all the time. Particularly when it's something like this where the technique is quite important. And we all know I don't edit my videos, because I've got more important things to do in my life than cut out the bits that actually show you how to do everything. I think it's important, that you realise that we're not all marvellous crafters. We all make mistakes, even if we've been crafting for decades. We are only human. We are all only human. Right, I am going to use my tweezers. These are those ones that you can pick up and just hold and everything is okay. Right, so we want our middle flowers, or our middle flower heads, to go over the gap, and then do some pressing. What's sticky on me? Hi Jane! Right, I am just, whoops, that moved a bit. I'm just going to turn the whole thing over and you can see my order. And that is where we want it. So now is the moment of truth to pull that up. And if it doesn't want to come, twist it and it will break the seal. So I'm going to, let's see, shall I chop? I'm tempted to chop and to do it from behind. I haven't actually made this card before. I haven't made either of the cards before. I like to wing it to a degree. Right, so I'm lining that up so that the straight edge, the already cut straight edge, is on the edge of my chopper. And then with the courage of my convictions, chop. Now I have gone a little fuzzy there, so let me grab my snips. Actually, I'm going to come in from the back. Now, part of the reason that happened is that's not terribly well stuck down. More importantly, what's going to happen here? So let's just trim that. Okay, so we have our two pieces. Now you can either have them both going that way, you can have them going that way, you can have them wherever you want them, but one die cut, two cards. So I need more black. Why did I not? I only cut one black mat. Silly! Silly girl! So what I want is for that just to be mounted on black. I do like the look of white on black with bright colour. I think it's a really, well, classy, yeah, classy look. So bring in my trimmer, and I'm going for my usual 3 7/8. Dimensions will be on my website when this goes live. You don't have to apologise, Jane. You're allowed to have a life outside my Facebook Lives. You can obviously catch up on what's happened so far later. It should be available to replay. Oh, I haven't done that housekeeping either. Should be available to replay soon after this finishes. So that was the other piece of housekeeping. Do remember, if you share the video and you type the word shared with a D in the comments, you get to be entered into the prize draw. I will show you what the prize draw is for this week in a moment. Well, soon. I'm just going to pop a little bit of adhesive under there because that is going to catch. And this is the point at which you do need to just have a look and see if there are any little bits that are going to, don't know, I've picked up with black as well, that are going to catch. It's only going to be really on this edge. And you may even want to just go, you know what, no one's going to know that this was meant to be here. So because you're sending it as 2 cards, so you could just come in underneath and trim it away, because nobody will know apart from us. So again, this one, not that fussed for. This is where you can just take a little liberty with the die cut. That one I'm all right with, but I think it needs, oh no, it's reasonably well stuck. Okay, so don't know why I've put that away because I need it. Yes, so do remember that you will be entered to the prize draw if you share the video either from here or from YouTube. If you do it from both, you get 2 entries. I have done my wheel of names already for today. It will be going live at 12, so soon, on my Facebook page. But I will announce the winner as well, so it's fine. Who I don't think is on today. I know why, if she's not, but I don't think she is. And press. Okay, 2 card bases, 1 for each. One and 2, and you can cut them short and fat. That's absolutely fine. If you want your cards short and fat, that's perfectly fine. Now if you wanted, before you put the whole thing together, hi Wendy, hope you've recovered from the weekend. We had a team virtual retreat this weekend, both days. It was wonderful but fairly epic. We're all a little tired, I think. Yes, so you could actually do some stamping on the background if you wanted at this point. I don't want to, I mean, but you could. These ones I'm going to stick down. Actually, I might do 1 flat and 1 popped up, just so that you can see the difference with what is basically the same card. And again, you know me, I press from the back. Okay, I'm not going to pop that one on there yet, and I think I will go that way up. Again, I want to have sentiments. I'm going to start reasonably fat, and I'm actually going to show you where I went wrong with the sentiment on the last card, because I am. So I'm going to do 1 with hello. and one with, oh, why not? I like you a lot. Right, so where I went wrong is, thank you, Nora. Yes, it was intense but wonderful, absolutely. Don't put it on a block that is the right size, and put it at an angle. I was watching Rachel Tessman, who is a demonstrator in the US. Sorry, this block is horribly dirty. It needs a quick polish. And she reminded me that you're more likely to get that stamped straight than if you have it straight on the block, because you're not going to be tempted to try and line up with the edge of the block. I'm glad everything arrived all right, Jane. Okay, so coming in again with Embossing Buddy. Pop that to one side. And this card is far too big for this sentiment. I will be trimming it down, but better too big than too small. In fact, I might go down. But can you see? That's a good question. Can you see? Yes, you can. It's much easier to see where the edge of the card is, which is really what we're trying to line up against, if you've got lots of block to look through. I think I need to re-ink my Versamark. That's horrible. Bear with me. I haven't re-inked it for an age. So, re-inking your Versamark. It's really gloopy stuff, but you just want to get the bit of fluff off your pad first. Just gloop some on, and it is. I mean, it's like I don't know what it's like. Treacle, clear treacle, and then just spread it. Now you can spread it with a bone folder or an old credit card or whatever you want. I just use the nib of the re-inker. And I'm going to leave that image stamped, or you know, yes, stamped, and I will emboss it. But I want to do one next to it to show you the difference between well inked and not. Right, so now I'm going to move this around a bit because I might have bald bits otherwise. So let's stamp this again. And already I can see the difference. It's probably over inked now, but never mind. Right, so that's the hello, and I'm actually going to line this up on my grid paper before I pick it up, and pick it up at an angle. Ink. And did I pounce there? I have now. Let's get further up into the light so you can see what I'm doing better. Cake decorating palette knives? Absolutely. That would work. Thank you, Jane, for sharing. Your luck may continue to be in, you never know. Right, okay, pop that away, put its lid on. I'm sure I've told you the story of the demonstrator, not Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. This was back in the day where I used to travel around the country demonstrating for another stamp company. Phew. Not a thing I would wish to do again. It was hard work for not very much reward. Someone was demonstrating heat embossing, and let's see if I've got a... Right, this is an old pot of for gold glitter. So they'd done their heat emboss, or their embossing powder, and poured their embossing powder back into the little pot, and rather than using this, was holding it so that the gun was kind of like that. The whole pot melted. As I say, I probably told that story before. It was one of those moments that you just couldn't make up. So this is the one that I didn't like at all. And you can see why. This is the one I think we've got over inked, but it's better that way than the other. Much better. Ooh, and I've just realised something. Right, so I'm just going to heat this one again, because I keep saying, remember, it's still wet. That's what I mean. It does actually melt, and until it's set, it is going to be wet and sticky and icky. Right, mini chopper time. So, let's... Can't decide which one I want to put on where, and therefore which one I'm going to... Okay, now I think I know which I'm going to do. Okay, so that one. And that. And I'm going to do that a little longer, I think. Now the key to a guillotine, particularly with a small piece, is that you do actually hold your card down. I know that may seem obvious, but not to everyone. Come on, out you come. There we go. And so I'm putting quite a lot of pressure on that plastic guard, just so that I know it's held down and crooked. Joy. Oh. Not that crooked. Hopefully that is better, and it is. Good. Right, okay, so we don't want that lot, and we don't want that, but we want to keep it. So we have got our... I've just seen my second mat. Okay, right, I kept out the glimmer paper so that we could use some of it behind our sentiments, because we've still got bits that are easy to use. So we could go there. I think I might come more over here, and again I'm going towards the lighter end so that it shows up better. Now, gluing onto glimmer is always an interesting task, but Seal Plus comes to our aid. So I am going to run Seal Plus down the middle of my strip, and it happens that it's the right strip. all right width. Now, can I get this to pick up? Oh, I had it there for a moment. There we are. Can you see that there are little lines across it? That's because that's an individual bit of adhesive. So you don't have the same issue with breaking the adhesive as you do with seal. So I need to just make sure that I'm not... Actually, this one might be better off up here. Okay, so we've got that one. And then this one. So you just have to really stop with this. And if you get, and I have got it here, if you've got a bit that's falling over the edge, you can either take it off or just fold it in. Oh, it's white embossing powder, of course. Duh. Now let's come down here. Right, I'm going to be brave. And I'm going to do this by hand. So let's cut off that bit. I will be keeping it, however. And I'll do this end first. I'm reasonably happy using scissors, particularly when I've got a line to follow. Some of you may know that I did fashion design at college, and we spent hours learning how to use scissors for all sorts of things, including real fussy cutting, because fussy cutting is actually a quilting term. Yes. So I'm reasonably confident with using scissors. If you are not comfortable doing this, then just use your trimmer. But for speed, it's actually quicker for me to do it by hand. Right, those bits go in the bin. This stays because that's masses. Right. Okay, so this is the one that we've stuck down, and I'm going to have this one up here, or shall I have it down there? Okay, I'm going to leave you to decide. Am I having it up there or down there? You decide. It's going on... Hi, Barbara! You're not on replay. You're live. You are live. We're near the end, but you are live. So do you want me to put the I like you a lot at the bottom? Whoops, hair falling out. At the bottom or the top? This I'm going to stick straight down, and I think I will have that at the bottom. So that I'm also going to stick on with... Actually, I'll use seal. Absolutely, Wendy. Yep, this is definitely running out, so it is getting stiffer. Ooh, and I'm stuck on the... It rubs off quite nicely. There we go. Right, so that... yeah. Used to be indecisive. Now I really can't make up my mind. Yeah, I think there. So, top left. So we've got one vote for top left and one for at the bottom. So whoever next comments, the next comment that comes up will be the decider. So someone else needs to decide whether we're going top or bottom. They're both good. There is no right or wrong. I know there is a lag on Facebook, so it's good that I've got this to do while I'm waiting. Someone else must have a thought. I know there aren't hundreds of you on bottom. Right, thank you, Barbara. We will stick it at the bottom. Someone is being decisive for me. Oh, and then Margaret's come in with the top. However, I did say I'd go with the next person who commented, so we're going bottom. Otherwise, we'll be here for the next hour. I'm doing the best of three, and the first three were 2 for the bottom and 1 for the top. If in doubt, twist. If you have a problem with things sticking in the wrong place, a twist is a much better way of breaking the seal than just ripping up. Okay, so this is going to be popped up with minis, because I do have some mini blacks. They come in the same packet, so I do try and use the mini blacks where I can, because obviously you get the same number of sheets of minis as you do ordinary, but you get more minis than you do ordinary, because they're mini. In the black, obviously. Right, okay, and I'm going to do the same position, but different, if you see what I mean. So that's popped up. So there we are. So this one is popped up on the card, and then the sentiment is flat. This one is stuck onto the card, but the sentiment is popped up. Right, I want. Where did I put them? Did I put them away? Or did I put them in my box for the retreat? Tum-ty-tum. I think I must have put them away. Ooh, that's forever flowers, or flowers for every season all over the floor. Right. So my next question is, where did I put them? Did I put them away or did I leave them out? What I was looking for were the in-colour enamel dots, which these aren't. But actually, those would work just as well. So we'll go for the gold glitter dots instead, because I cannot for the life of me remember where I put the in-colour ones. I've probably lost them. Thank you, Peas. We've gone bottom anyway, so that's good. So we now do have more votes for the bottom than the top. Okay, so very quickly, and then I will do my roundup and prizes and all that good stuff. So I'm going for my 3s again. So I'm going to have that one tucked in under there. This one I will have there, and then I want one of the not babies but smallish ones, which I'm going to pop there. So that's that one. This I'm going to go teeny weeny on my sentiment, then it's not quite as large as the largest there, and largest so triangles. I like my triangles. So there we are. So our cards today were a twofer, and this is great for using up scraps, by the way, just saying, great for using up scraps. You can see how the re-inking has made an enormous difference to the embossing. Funny that. So yes, twofer and using up scraps, but using them as one piece. Hello, Ken, in disguise. So there we are. Those are today's cards. I will obviously have photos of those over on my blog. Now we need to do the important things. And as I say, I'm not sure that the winner is here, but I'll leave those there. So this was the prize from 2 weeks ago. So it's the Rise and Shine new inbox, unused reversibles. So these are the reversible images. and then these are the non-reversible images. Just to say, thank you, Margaret, just to say there are, well, there's a coffee set in the current catalogue, and I'll be talking about that in a minute anyway, but also there's coffee in the mini, so this will go really nicely with that. And the winner is the wonderful, and I know she's been going through some fairly rough times recently, Audrey. So I'm actually really thrilled that she's won this, because I think she needs some good news in her life at the moment. She's having a fairly tough time. Things are improving, but it's been a challenging week for her. So the prize for 2 weeks' time, so for today's video, is the little ladybugs, which were one of the celebration items. It is just the stamp set, new in box. It's not the dies. I do not have any of the dies. I did, but I don't. I gifted those to somebody. I love the ladybug, but I know a lot of people really liked it. But it was quite difficult to get because you had to spend a certain amount of money. Wendy, for what it's worth, I had no luck. I had 30 tickets and I didn't win over the weekend either. Anywho, so there we are. This I will get off to Audrey once she has sent me her address. This is the prize that will be drawn in 2 weeks' time. If you haven't voted and you would like to vote for my Kylie Bertucci project, you can find the link to that on today's video. The Spot Challenge has gone live, and this is the card that I have made. As I say, it's for designing your own designer series paper. So I used the Nothing's... I can't remember what it's called. Thank you, Barbara. Oh, and remember, if you share on both YouTube and Facebook, you get 2 entries. What's it called, for crying out loud? It's called Nothing's Better Than. That's what it's called, Nothing's Better Than. And I've gone cookie, and I've done the same as I did for last week's. This is becoming repetitive. Last week's the spot. I've used the shimmer crystal effect to pick out the wording. My top tip Tuesday, which went late, sorry, that was because of these power cut issues. My top tip Tuesday is how to use coloured vellum, because this is self-coloured coloured vellum, how to get adhesive underneath it without it showing. So, yes. Thank you very much indeed. I hope to see you again next week, and in the meantime my videos will be coming up as they normally do. So I will see you, or you will certainly be able to see me then. So thank you very much indeed, and I will see you all again next week with luck. Have a fantastic next few days, and I will see you then. Okay, bye.